These are the 5 backpacking items that I regret not buying sooner, and one item which I think is going to be a little controversial. I've been backpacking for about 5 years now, and over those years I've made a lot of mistakes, so this video is for beginner hikers who wish to avoid these mistakes I made. The first item is super multi-purpose and also really protects your gear. It's the classic 1/8 inch foam pad. This thing is so good in so many different ways. The biggest one being that it protects your air mattress from punctures at night. And I used to get so many punctures. I've gotten probably about 6 flats over the course of 5 years. And now that I bought this, I no longer get any punctures. I was pretty skeptical of all the hype, so I kind of avoided this for a while. It was also really hard to get for the longest time because this was always selling out within minutes of it's being released. So finally got my hands on one. Other companies started making these, and I think every hiker would benefit from getting one of these. Besides punctures, this thing is also so useful in a lot of different ways. So you can roll it out, use it as a yoga mat. Well, I don't use it as a yoga mat, but my wife does. You can also use it as a sit pad, as a windshield when you're cooking, and some people use it as extra foam padding for frameless backpacks, so you can put it down the back of your backpack if you have a frameless backpack. That's a lot of backs. The next item was the biggest single increase to my hygiene while out backpacking and hiking. Backpacking bidets. I feel like most people shower every 1 to 2 days, and this is basically just a second-hand bidet. So when you're away for 4 to 5 days, you don't have that luxury. You don't shower every day. So you need the bidet in order to keep your hygiene up, and it's essential in my opinion. Backpacking bidets are amazing and make me feel so much cleaner when I'm out in the wilderness. I'll try not to go into details, but it's way better than smearing things clean and then leaving trace amounts. Things get inflamed, and then you have this whole new issue and wish you'd started with the bidet from the beginning. Some people bring like body wipes, but to me that's not really a solution. It's just a workaround because you're not comfortable with the idea of bidets. This is the first bidet that I got, and it's just the nozzle from a squirt bottle. And it worked great, but it's just a little bit intense and it doesn't get full coverage. The upgrade I got is the Culo Clean, and it's absolutely amazing that it gets you really nice and clean without wasting a ton of your water. And I feel like I haven't missed any spots after using it. One of the biggest reasons I went to a bidet in the beginning is because I didn't want to carry around dirty toilet paper. There's a lot of places like national parks and other really popular hikes that require you to pack out your dirty toilet paper, and that sounded nasty to me. So I got a bidet and I cleaned off that way, and then I just air dry it, and it's worked really well for about 3 years now. The reason why you're not allowed to bring toilet paper is because it doesn't decompose in the ground. So if you bury this in the ground, you're potentially permanently damaging the environment that you're hiking in. And it's also illegal, so I'd rather just not do that. The third item I wish I'd gotten sooner is a spoon. This is a spork, and it's basically useless because I only use the spoon features. I never use it as a fork. So effectively, I just bought a worse spoon as a spoon. Those backpacker meals that you put warm water in and then they hydrate over the next 15 minutes, those are all soft food items, so you don't really have to stab at things with a fork. You can just use a spoon for basically all of those. Same with couscous, rice, potatoes. None of those classic meals require a fork. So I would recommend a spoon for pretty much everyone. Plus you can get like a polished bowl version of this now, which is really nice. It gives a way better mouthfeel. I don't feel like I need to upgrade this yet because it works perfectly fine. It's just a little inconvenient. So I'd rather not upgrade gear that I'm still using and is still useful. It's also dirty, so remember to wash your items after you can. And just like the last one, I feel like this next item is still useful to me, so I'm not going to upgrade it anytime soon. But it's my 2 headlamps. This is the original one that I bought, but it has battery powered, and I didn't really like that on trail, so I got a rechargeable battery version. These headlamps have what I consider required features for me. So they have the red light, dimmable brightnesses. The only thing this one does not have is a lens for the main white light. So whenever I'm looking close to anyone at camp, they're completely blinded by like these LED lights. So I'll give a little example. And then if I look away, you can still see it. And if this was pitch black, it would be terrible for you. So I don't need to upgrade this. This is a very minor thing. It basically means that I just look at the ground whenever I'm around other people, or I turn it off. It's only a mild inconvenience for me, and I feel like I can make do with that. So I don't really like buying new pieces of gear unless I really need to. It's a functional issue, or it's like a safety issue. I'm not sure if there's such thing as the perfect setup, and if there is such thing as a perfect setup, I think it would be pretty wasteful because you'd have to go through so many different pieces of gear to find the perfect thing for every scenario. And then there's like winter setups and summer setups, there's ultralight setups, weekend setups, there's just so many variations. I don't think it's realistic to be perfect every single time. So with that being said, I'm alright with my gear being 90% perfect and dealing with the 10% what makes it a little annoying to use sometimes. And for my fifth item, I think it's really important to kind of keep routines that you normally do at home and bring that to the campsite. At night, I make dinner and then I wind down, usually watching YouTube at home for 30 minutes to an hour. I can't really do that on trail, plus I don't want to. I go outside to like decompress from all the technology and kind of get away from it all the busyness. So instead of doing YouTube, I listen to audiobooks and podcasts, and that's made a huge difference. I don't really listen to audiobooks or podcasts unless we're traveling, and I really liked it as a routine. Some of my favorites so far has been How to Save a Planet and Adventure Zone. When I first started backpacking 5 years ago, I bought all the budget options off of Amazon, and those lasted maybe a year or two before I moved on to higher quality pieces of gear. And I've gone through 3 iterations now, 4 with my backpack, and I think I could have cut that down to maybe 1 or 2 iterations had I just bought things from REI to begin with. Basically, I struggle with guilt sometimes, and just saying, you don't have to struggle with that too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to check out my other content.